had the opportunity the other day to, sit down with a good friend and colleague and somebody that, as a former CIO, has heard from and bought a ton of technology from the industry. And the thing that we were laughing about is that how often do vendors forget that their story of value is really not locked up in feature and functionality, but it's really about the return that the client will get. And traditionally, that comes in three ways. Are they going to save money and be able to use those saved funds and to deploy a technology that maybe didn't cut the list or make the list in the last quarter? Are they going to be able to make money by being able to service their customers faster with a higher quality of service? Or are they generically going to be more competitive in the industry? And from that perspective, the company is going to get better. And if you think about those three different returns on the acquisition of an IT technology, I think most CIOs and my friend definitely agrees, they want vendors to come and show that value return. The fact that their widget is, 5 times faster or 3 times better is really immaterial unless the CIO or the IT team can translate the value into either a monetary or a brand victory. So we were talking about this concept of information governance and compliance. Obviously, it's been getting a lot of attention in the marketplace. It is a direct analogous technology trend to the ransomware and other malware and hacking type events that occur in the industry. I think most vendors think that their answer or antidote to ransomware is doing backup differently or potentially buying a new security product. But in our conversations, we actually said maybe it should start before that. Maybe you should start with actually identifying what data do we have in our landscape that is at risk. I think everybody is aware of the recent changes, whether it be in California, whether it be in Europe with GDPR, whether it be sensitive data at risk at a legal firm, whether it be sensitive data at risk like a bank account information or a credit card number at a fintech firm. The reality is you kind of want to know what your problem size and scope is prior to trying to find a Band-Aid or a solution for it. So we had a kind of a brief kind of back and forth on the whiteboard in terms of, so how should you do that? And one of the things that we discovered is that there's a pretty mature marketplace out there to address structured data. So, your databases, whether it be a ServiceNow database, whether it be a Salesforce database, whether it be an ERP system from Oracle or SAP, there's pretty mature data discovery and from that perspective, information governance products in that space so that you can figure out what your problem is before you address it. Really, the problem that is kind of the wild, wild west right now is the unstructured data space. And what we concluded at the end of our 20-minute conversation was that really the first job is to go discover that information that is potentially the risky data that your company would not have or wish to have exposed to a nefarious party. Maybe even an ex-employee, when you think about it, down to what are the most likely events that occur. So we looked out at the marketplace and we found that technology exists today. And we actually found out a very other, I'll call it important item associated with it. And the company that we focused on was a company called Congruity 360. So not only do they allow you the ability to I'll scan through all your unstructured data, whether the source is a Microsoft 365 instance, whether it is traditional, I'll call it unstructured file share data, whether it be on an EMC Isilon or a NetApp box. But they also are able to do is identify really the key, I'll call it IT optimization attributes of that data. When was the last time somebody actually accessed it? Is it a file format that you care about keeping? For example, a Zoom, recording that's been around for the past couple of years through the pandemic. But it's actually, there's not just one, there's literally tens of thousands of Zoom recordings consuming your space. And the conclusion that we came up with was that a company like Congruity 360 has really a 2-for-1 value proposition. not only are they going to be able to identify the attributes of the unstructured data that can immediately drive cost reduction by moving your legacy storage infrastructure to a new storage infrastructure, say leveraging object or leveraging some new leadership vendors in the marketplace that do more for less. But it's also going to identify where your risk is. It's going to identify where that credit card information is, what file systems have that, and give you an opportunity. And the 2-for-1 element is the money that you will save by changing out legacy storage for new, lower cost, higher performing storage based upon the insights that Congruity 360 provides you. You can use those savings to provide information and governance and compliance and still save money. And at the end of the day, the conclusion that we had after our robust conversation was anytime you can get 2-for-1, it's a win. And anytime that you can provide your management team the evidence as to why you need to make a new decision on a new vendor or a new platform or architecture, you're so much far better off than kind of reacting to the lemmings approach of, hey, everybody's doing this new thing, let's go do it too.